Welcome to the show, Sharon.
Hi, Chris.
So now we're going to talk about the situation actually where the abused parent has actually left the dangerous situation, is now away from the abusive partner and is now with the children. Mm-hmm. So what kind of effect does this kind of abuse have when children actually witness this going on in the home?
Mm. It's really difficult because, if a child has been exposed to, has seen or just experienced domestic abuse, mm-hmm. It can have devastating effects, obviously, mm-hmm. On a child. But the tricky thing is, you see, because we're all different, each child will process it in a slightly different way. Yeah. And sometimes we might not sort of see the effects until much later on. Sometimes the effects will be immediate, yes, you'll sort of see them straight away. I think the most important thing is for the child to feel safe, because if they've seen somebody whom they love and care for being hurt, mm-hmm. that's a very scary thing to experience, obviously. Yeah. So if you're supporting somebody, or if you're a parent who has been, sort of now out of that domestic abuse situation, and want to give as much support as you can to your own child, I think the first thing to think about is there any sort of signs at the moment that the child is displaying, and if so, consider, right, is that meaning that I need to get professional support, so through play therapy or counselling or art therapy. But it is about taking the child's lead, I think, because we need to make them feel safe to start with, to be able to open up and start talking. So it's about thinking about when they are ready to start to process and talk, and give them sort of different avenues to be able to do that, be it through a journal or just knowing that it's okay to feel the things that they're feeling, and that you're there always to sort of listen and to support them.
If the child is that child maybe that doesn't show any signs, but they could actually be holding it all in, should a parent maybe even consider kind of bringing the subject up, or is it like, let's not talk about it, it's better not to mention it until they want to?
I think each case is very different, obviously, and we can only talk sort of from a general perspective. But I think it's really important. It's difficult to talk about violence, any kind of violence, sort of emotional or physical, but it is important to talk about it. I think if it's kept underneath, there's all of those things, the child might be thinking, am I what I'm feeling wrong? Was I responsible for this happening?
Which does actually happen sometimes.
Of
the
course.
Children blame themselves.
Of course. So to be able to just start to bring the subject up gradually, so that you can talk about the fact that violence is not okay, and sorting out a problem in an abusive way is not okay, and just giving them the opportunity to be able to be really listened and heard to and not judged. And I think as an adult, be it a professional or be it a parent or, a family member that is supporting that young person, is not to assume that we know what they're feeling or thinking.
Yeah, it's very important.
So it really is important to take their lead, I think, on that.
And I suppose if it's the actual parent that was abused that is going to bring the subject up, they need to make sure that they've had the right support to.
Absolutely.
Because how they're going to communicate with their children if they're all confused or going through certain things as well.
Yeah, and it's very easy then to look at it from our own perspective rather than from the child's perspective. And I think, if we need to support a young person, we need to be thinking about what it felt like for them, not what it feels like for us. And that's very difficult, if you've just come through a domestic abuse situation yourself, because, of all of the healing that needs to go on, the bruising may fade, but it's the inner scars that take sometimes much longer to be able to heal.
So it's so important to get support.
Absolutely,
definitely.
very, very important. So, definitely professional help, to support the child. And for the adult as well. Definitely.
Lovely. Sharon, thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
And we'll see you again very soon.
Look forward to it, Chris.
Thank you. Well, everyone.